the Gloria Hassall Show. This program is sponsored by Glandis Essentials and Gloria Hassall Foundation. So today I am with my host, David Newell, and we'll literally be talking about the history of the United Kingdom, David's birth and his growth, and how the United Kingdom and the West has evolved since his birth, and how women have also evolved from being stay-at-home moms to being career women and having professions. So Dave, how old are you?
Well, let me think. I'm 66 years old.
And what year were you born?
1954.
Fantastic. So what was life like around that time?
People weren't as well off as they are today. Wages were quite low. I think, from what I've been told, the rationing had stopped by the time I was born.
When you say rationing has stopped, what's that?
During the war,
Yeah.
everybody had a ration book.
Okay, what's that?
A book with vouchers in.
Okay.
You could get food.
Okay.
And if you got no vouchers, you couldn't have the food.
Is that the only way you could get food then?
During the war, yeah. It was rationed.
Okay.
There was no eggs at all. It was egg powder.
Okay.
That's what I've been told by my parents.
Okay.
You know, so it's second-hand knowledge,
Okay.
really, because they told me.
Okay.
Yeah, but when I was little, yes, things were a bit difficult, but we didn't go without.
Food.
We had all the food we needed.
But that was the same for every
Yeah.
household in the United Kingdom.
And it's virtually the same for everywhere,
Okay.
except for the people who owned their own businesses
Okay.
and had money,
Okay.
lived in what they call big posh houses.
Okay, so in your opinion, how has development evolved in the United Kingdom?
Comparing it to today, life is a bit better. It's a lot better. It's easier. There's more technology than there was then. Machines do a lot of work today as compared to when I was little. For example, people that dig up the roads for whatever reason. Today they use mechanical diggers. Back in the late 50s and 60s, it was all done by hand, pick and shovel. They had to work for the money.
Okay. That's like serious labour, isn't it?
Oh,
Manual
yes.
labour.
Oh yes, yes.
Okay. And this, comparatively, this is the UK. Would you say that was the same for across Europe as well?
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly. Yes.
Because development was literally about the same everywhere anyway, wasn't
Virtually.
it?
Virtually the same everywhere,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And it's virtually everywhere in the Western world.
Okay. So literally talking about women, I want us to discuss a little bit about women. With the issue of women, how have women evolved? What were the roles of women in the households at the time, and how have they evolved since then?
When I was little,
Yeah.
when women first got married,
Yeah.
they had a job.
Yeah.
When they left work to have children,
Yeah.
their role specifically was to stay at home, look after the children.
Okay.
Because then children did not start school until they were 5 years old. So the first 5 years of their life, they were at home. If you had interaction with other children, you were lucky. Because if you family and friends, you got together with your cousins or your little friends.
So these are the youngsters, the kids.
Yes. Yeah.
They were made to stay at home.
Oh yes.
Did they not go out?
There was no
at all?
no such thing then as children's play centres.
Okay. There were no parks and themes and all that.
There was parks, open spaces.
But now we've got theme parks where kids can go and play, with games and
no theme parks.
Right.
No.
Nothing made for kids to go and play.
Nothing at all.
Okay.
Nothing at all. All you had was an open area with a few things to go on, swings, slide,
Okay.
what we used to call roundabouts.
What was that?
Basically, it was a round mechanical thing that you could push round. There was bars on it that shaped like that, fixed to the central pole and to the base, and you just push it round.
So these women literally all they did was stay at home and cook and look after the kids.
Yeah. And do the shopping.
Food shopping.
Food shopping, clothing shopping, you name it.
And what did the men do then?
Went out to work,
Yes.
came home, had a wash,
Yes.
sat down to the tea
Yes.
and watched television.
Okay.
It was very rare then for men to take any responsibility in the house.
So and that's because they went out working.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they used to work. They worked long hours.
Okay.
The hours of work were longer then than they are now.
What kind of jobs were they doing then?
There was lorry drivers, bus drivers, postmen, milkmen. What used to call milkmen. They used to deliver the milk in glass tube bottles. There was a baker. They delivered all your bread. There was a coalman. They'd bring coals in sacks. Then you still had dustmen. Then
Dustmen.
yeah,
What's that?
like you get today, picking up your refuse.
Oh right. Okay. Alright.
Yeah, but then they used to bring. You didn't have to put your bin out yourself.
Okay.
The bins were only about that tall, little round bins,
Okay.
and they used to come down, pick them up, take them to the top of your footpath. When they were emptied, somebody else would come and take it back down again.
But it had nothing to do with anyone in the household. It
Nope.
would literally be them.
Not then,
Okay.
not then.
Alright.
Not like today,
Okay.
where they've got wheelie bins,
Okay.
and you have to put the bin down at the bottom of your drive.
Okay. So what kind of jobs were at the top of the ranks then?
Sorry, say again?
What kind of jobs were at the top of the ranks? Like, I know now there are doctors, there are lawyers, there's loads of solicitors firms. There's
Oh,
loads
there was still doctors, solicitors, judges, managing directors
of companies
of
and maybe
companies and all
run
that.
your own
Yeah.
business.
Oh, those jobs were still around then.
Okay. But clearly, obviously, women didn't have that chance
No.
at the time.
No. There was
So-
no. There was a few women doctors
Okay.
then, not many, but a few.
Okay.
There were mainly nurses. There was no male nurses then.
Female nurses.
All female nurses.
Okay.
There was no male nurses.
Okay. And then more male doctors and a few female doctors.
Yes.
Okay. So at what point did that evolve? Like, when did this start to change where women...
If I remember rightly, it was more towards the early 70s
Okay.
when I was finishing school and starting work.
Was there a specific reason why the women were...
They just changed. Women wanted to know why couldn't they do the same job as men.
So they started fighting for their rights?
Oh yes. Yeah.
Can you give specific examples where women fought for their rights?
The one that springs to mind is the Ford car manufacturing company.
What happened then?
Then this has gone back into the 60s, middle 60s.
Okay.
The ladies there sewed all the fabric and whatever for the car seats on the inside of the car, and they were paid less than the men. But they thought because they were helping to build the car, they wanted parity with the men, and they wanted to be able to be in a union with the men. Because women weren't allowed to be in unions then.
What do you mean they weren't allowed? As in the...
Trade unions.
Oh, so they weren't in the trade unions. They weren't allowed.
No,
Wow.
no, they could be sacked on the spot for no reason.
For what?
Just for being late numerous times, being ill. If they went and said they were pregnant, they were sometimes they were sacked on the spot, just because they were pregnant.
So what happened to pregnant women then?
They just went home.
So you'd work, and then when you got pregnant, you'd go home.
You were told to go home. But then it wasn't taken as granted that women would come back to work after the child was born.
Okay.
Not like today.
Okay.
Like today, if you started a family today, you'd have maternity leave, like the first year with the child, and then you could go back to work.
Okay.
Back in the 60s, they couldn't.
So the pregnancy would be the end of a woman's career?
Basically, yes.
Okay. So let's go back to the Ford incident. What happened? Like, what did the women do then in all of it?
They went on strike.
Okay.
They withdrew their labour.
Okay. Do you know how long they were on strike
No,
for?
I can't remember.
So what happened? What was the result of them going on strike?
Oh, they got what they wanted.
So they got increased?
They got increased pay and parity with the men.
And they were allowed to go in the union?
And able to join the union.
Would you say that was the start of
Yes.
the women having some level of equality in the area of careers with men? You say that was actually the start?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Oh, right, that's interesting. So that's a very significant case then, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Right.
They've made a film about it.
Do you remember what the film is?
I can't remember what the film's called.
Okay, interesting. All right. So with the issue of coals, I have heard stories where I've been told that coals, at the time there was no electricity, so coals was literally what was used.
Yes,
for heating.
Homes were heated with coal fires.
And I have heard stories that there was always smoke all over the place because the coal gives off smoke, doesn't it?
If the chimney, you had to have the chimney swept regularly.
Why?
Well, the smoke going up the chimney would take bits of carbon with it.
Okay.
With the coal burning.
Okay.
And it would stick to the sides of the chimney.
But the carbon is poisonous, isn't it? Is it not?
Carbon monoxide is poisonous.
But the carbon itself is
carbon
fine.
on its own is
it's
not.
Fine. Okay.
And if the chimney got blocked, then the smoke wouldn't be able to go up the chimney. It would come back into the room.
Okay.
You could breathe just about. If there's too much smoke in the room, then you
suffocate.
You would actually suffocate. You'd die from smoke inhalation.
Okay. And probably inhaling the thing as well, the gases and stuff. Okay. All right. That's quite interesting. I've also heard stories where there was only one fireplace because all they could get was the coal.
There was
for heating.
Usually one fireplace. In every
household. Room.
Every downstairs room. There'd be one in the kitchen.
Okay.
And one in the lounge or sitting room.
Okay.
And also one in the dining room.
So there'll be 3 fireplaces.
Usually. Or more if you had more rooms downstairs.
So it's not as bad as I heard, because I heard there was just one fireplace and that was in the lounge.
No.
Oh, right.
The one in the kitchen used to heat the hot water.
Okay.
What they call a combustion stove.
Okay.
Which is basically a tank behind the fire.
Okay.
With pipes running from there up to the hot water tank.
Okay.
And back again.
Okay. This is all time we'll have us for today's session. So we'll leave it here today and continue next week. My clothing is by Glandis Essentials. This program is also sponsored by Glandis Essentials and the Gloria Hassall Foundation. If you'd like to sponsor us, kindly contact the number on your screen. Have a good weekend and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Gloria Hassall Show comes your way every Saturday, 7 p.m. on Sunny TV with your host, Gloria Hassall, to break down the importance of addressing and discussing issues like current affairs, marriage, culture, economy, health, wealth, and education on Gloria Hassall Show, 7 p.m. every Saturday on Sunny TV.